Welcome to another edition of the Nightly Nuge. And Ted, you know, I guess money can buy you nearly anything. And I mention this because George Soros has bought himself a cupboard full of liberal DAs and prosecutors like Alvin Bragg, who went after President Trump, or Kim Foxx. And yeah, I mean, the list goes on. But the $25 billion financial empire of George Soros, the left-wing Democrat donor that we all know, it's now passed to his son, Alex, who's a 37-year-old. And I want to read to you what he says. He said, I'm going to broaden my father's famous interests to include voting and abortion rights, as well as gender equality. And then he adds this: I'm going to inject myself into the day-to-day political affairs of the nation ahead of the 2024 election. And then I quote, I'm more political, when he compared himself to his father. Ted, what's the world need to know about the Soros empire and the good or bad that they've done for America and the world?
Well, Soros has a reputation around the world to take advantage of nations and governments and economies and ruin the middle class, destroy the middle class wherever his fingerprints exist. And that his son wants to increase that destruction of the middle class and have more power for the elitists is a clear and present danger, unlike anything America has ever faced. And I'm well aware of World War I and World War II, and I'm aware of prohibition, and I'm aware of the gangsters, and I'm aware of the open border, welcoming military-age men from Somalia, Nigeria, and Afghanistan, and Iraq, and Syria. I'm well aware of the tragedies and the threats against America, but nothing is more critical and more dangerous than what the Soros gang, which is all of the Democrat Party and way too many Republicans, the deep state. There is a deep state, and they want to crush the little guy, and they want to expand the power and the enrichment of an elite lunatic fringe at the top. And that's what Soros represents. And clearly that's what the Democrat Party represents. You can't be a senator and earn $100 million while you're the senator or the congressman, but they all are. Now there's a few moral representatives out there. I think of Lauren Boebert out of Colorado. I think of Chip Roy out of Texas, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I believe that there are many, many good ones out there.
Tom Tiffany, Wisconsin. Ryan Zinke, Montana.
Absolutely. There's a bunch of them, and we know who they are, but they're a small percentage, and the overwhelming power abusers have control right now. But we, the people, can change that. We should let Lauren Boebert know. And Ron Johnson out of, I believe it's Ron Johnson out of Wisconsin. There's a few good constitutionalists out there, and they're all Republicans, and they're very few and far between. But if we, the people, don't support them, then the Soros gang will continue to dismantle the foundational values. The Soros gang, the Democrat Party, and way too many Republicans are against God, against family, against country. If you're promoting drag queen events as a healthy activity for young boys and girls, which is an extension of the North American Man-Boy Love Association, who are fighting maniacally to make it legal for adult men to have sex with underage boys. Everybody might want to wrap their head around that and look up NAMBLA, North American Man-Boy Love Association. That's what RuPaul represents. That's what drag queens represent. That's what pierced body part, purple-haired freaks that don't know their own gender. They're confused by their gender, but they want us to play along with their dishonesty and their fantasy. That's all about the North American Man-Boy Love Association, who is getting rid of the word pedophile and change it to something like underage attraction society, where grown men are fighting evilly to legalize sex with young boys by grown-up men. That's what this gender thing is all about. That's what Target is promoting. That's what Tractor Supply is promoting. That's what Ford Motor Company is promoting. That's what North Face is promoting. That's what Anheuser-Busch is promoting. And you can't support that kind of perversion and that kind of evil that destroys God, family, country, law, and order. Those are the principles that the left and the Soros gang is attacking, and they're succeeding because too many simple, down-to-earth families are not fighting back because it's so incomprehensible that we can't believe what our own eyes and ears are seeing and hearing.
You know what, Ted? You use the word George Soros almost synonymously with deep state, which brings me to exactly what I wanted to pick your brain on today. Yesterday, you mentioned about rank and file law enforcement from FBI, CIA, local law enforcement that simply are ignoring their oath, looking the other way when evildoers in their own organization are doing, or as I like to say, running amok. Ted, what do you want to say? Well, first of all, I'm going to ask you two questions. One, is there a deep state? And two, what do you say to those people out there that have the ability to expose the deep state at its root, but don't? Two questions. I'll let you answer.
Well, there's two glaring examples that answer both of those questions and a whole lot more. Here's two examples. Hunter Biden signed a federal document committing a felony on a firearms purchasing order. Everybody knows it. The alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, and explosive, and skateboards and pantyhose. I think it's the alcohol, tobacco, firearms, explosives, pantyhose, and skateboards, because they all have so much to do with each other. But those in charge of firearms laws are ignoring the out in the open, universally known felony by Hunter Biden. And another glaring example, and I can give you 1,000 of them, thousands of examples, is local cops. I don't even know what city, it doesn't matter. They arrested a man for quoting Bible verses peacefully on the public sidewalk. The cops arrested the man for quoting Bible statements while perverts were grooming young boys and girls to be perverted into transgender and drag queen North American man-boy love insanity sinfulness.
What's the answer?
Guy was arrested. Those cops have lost their soul. I will say it again. The best warriors, the best sheepdogs, protecting the sheep from the wolves, the best people in the world. I have a badge in their law enforcement, but horrifically, the worst brainwashed sheep in the world have a badge and a gun and are arresting a man for quoting the Bible instead of perverts twerking their naked ass to boys and girls singing, "I love it when you kiss me where I pee." Evil is okay. Bible quotes need to be arrested. Luckily, a judge, thank God there's a guy in a black robe who had a sense of decency and good over evil. They dropped the charges. But officers, take a deep breath. What in God's name are you doing? You're going to arrest a man for not wearing a helmet as he backed his snowmobile off a trailer. He got a $150 ticket because as he was just backing the snowmobile off the trailer without a helmet, a conservation officer gave him a ticket. You soulless punk! What kind of horror are we facing when people with the power of law and order are abusing that power? Use your fucking heads! You people have lost your soul. And the good cops, you need to straighten out the bad cops. Don't arrest a man for quoting the Bible. Arrest the guy that arrests him. This is tipsy-turvy, Keith. And again, I could give you thousands of these examples where good guys are arrested. A father protesting that a boy dressed in a dress raped his daughter. The father protesting got arrested, not the rapist. Think of that. This is literally the planet of the serpents, and the cops who support it are worse than the serpents.
Is there a way out of this, Ted? I mean, are there enough good FBI, good CIA, good NSA, good ATF? Are there enough good ones? Or, Ted, will it just take one or two to expose this at its root? Final word.
A big salute and prayers and indefatigable, eternal, universal support for those law enforcement and military who are blowing the whistle when their superiors are violating their oath, violating morals, violating ethics. A big salute to the whistleblowers. Right now, in this juncture in America, Keith, we need more courageous whistleblowers. We support the whistleblowers. We hope that there are more out there. But let me tell you, all you law enforcement guys and gals, when you see abuse of power and corruption and criminal activity by your fellow law enforcement officials, and you don't blow the whistle, you're scum. You're absolutely worse than rapists. You're worse than burglars. You're worse than carjackers because you have the power to stop evil and you're looking the other way and allowing evil to metastasize. So law enforcement, you better take a deep look inside your own arena, in your own group. And you better start standing up to the sacred oath to the Constitution and law and order. And backing your skidoo off a trailer is not a threat to society. And telling me I can't have a knob on my steering wheel is not in your wheelhouse. And telling me I can't relocate apples on my farm or spill corn has nothing to do with law and order. I could give you thousands of examples, Keith. The answer, maybe tomorrow on the Nightly Nuge, I might read from my Ted Nugent We the People citation booklet, where if I'm approached by law enforcement, where they're violating their oath and abusing their power, I'm giving them a ticket.
I love it. Well, tomorrow, Ted, is Flag Day, and I'm going to open tomorrow with a picture that I'm sure you've seen. Broke my heart. I'm sure it'll break our listeners' hearts when we get together tomorrow for the Nightly Nuge Flag Day edition. See you then, Ted.
Yep, truth, logic, and common sense and the American flag. It's intertwined.